All right, here we go. Now, I'm not going to react to the entire video because it is long and I always like to talk a lot, so it'll be even longer. But Asmongold is top tier as far as content creators on all the platforms to me. Um, he's got very, very good points as far as the Department of Education and Trump's speech the other day. I might clip in some of Trump's speech, but Asman basically sums it up nicely in a way that everybody can appreciate 100%. So there we go. And I got some receipts as well to kind of show some points and a little bit of goofiness from CNN and MSNBC, maybe. So let's just get into this.
I really can't see that we need a Department of like if we had a Department of Education, it wasn't working.
True.
Now, in my opinion, I think they probably should have revamped it and made it better. I don't think the solution is just get rid of it. But let's be honest, boys. We just got done talking about people buying pizza on credit.
So uh, I, revamping, I don't know if revamping would be like a the thing that I would do. I think that leaving it to the states is the best, and then certain things splitting off into different parts of the government, which later on Trump does talk about. And I think that's the best approach. I think that would be the revamping that I would approach that I would take because the DOE has done shit. I mean, we went from good to retarded with the DOE. And he's not wrong about
You're
the pizza
buying
thing.
DoorDash on credit. You're financing DoorDash. This shit wasn't working.
No,
It wasn't. It just wasn't working.
we need finance classes in like middle school, high school, definitely high school. Teach these kids how to like make a budget and what loans are, how to navigate that, how, how to write in a checkbook, how to balance a checkbook, how to not take credit out for DoorDash.
Like it or not, and we've been there for a long time, 70% of eighth graders are not proficient in either reading or in math.
70% of eighth graders are retarded. Do you think that just magically by the time they turned 18, they're going to unretarded themselves?
No. So I love that. Unretarded themselves. Um, Average reading scores for public school students declined in 5 states and 4 urban districts compared to 2022. More declined in comparison to 2019. So 2022, 2020, or 2019, 39 scores declined. Five, the state's jurisdictions. And then TUDA, which is the Trial Urban District Assessments. Sorry, you can't see that, huh? 2022 to 2019, 4 and 11. I mean, this is showing that fourth graders cannot read with a crap. So what's the Department of Education actually doing? And then you can even look at it as far as eighth grade. Average reading scores for public school students declined in 8 states, 7 urban districts compared to 2022. More decline in comparison to 2019. So this is eighth grade. Same metric. Our kids are getting stupid. Dumber. Dumber, dumber, dumber. I mean, what? How else do you see it? I mean, In 2023, the U.S. saw declines in both reading and math literacy, with 28% of adults scoring at or below the lowest level in literacy and 34% in numeracy, compared to 19% and 29% respectively in 2017. So from 2017 to 2023, even the adults, but these are the adults, we're getting dumber. We're getting dumber as just a people. It is Wall-E in real life. So in 2023, this is math. Grade 4, U.S. fourth graders' average score on the TIMSS mathematics scale, 517, was higher than the average scores of their peers in 28 education systems and lower than the scores in those in 21 education systems. So in 2023, as far as math goes, for fourth grade, we're like in the middle of the pack. Why are we in the middle? I mean, fuck's sake. Hungary's above us. Portugal's above us. Australia, Finland, Bulgaria, Czech Republic, Norway, Romania, Netherlands, Ireland, Dubai, Japan, of course, Chinese, Singapore, Korea. I mean, Canada is below us, barely. It is like super duper scary how stupid our kids have become. And I know that it's not like 100% the Department of Education. I understand that. I think a lot of it is on the parents. How are they raised? You know, what are the parents doing or not doing? I get that. That's a big part of it. I mean, we got some really stupid idiot parents out there raising really stupid idiot kids. And the problem is they have a lot of them. They really do. And then this is the eighth graders. 10 points above, only 10 points above the international average. Was not measurably different from the average scores of students in 7 education systems. So it's saying that like we're tied for 30th, which is nothing to be woohoo about. I mean, there's the average and there's us. We're as far as I'm concerned, the average is the bottom of the list of first world countries. Below that is like mud hut places. We're at the bottom of the barrel. I mean, Malta's above us. Austria's above us. The Czech Republic's above us. Places that we should be blowing out of the water. So what is the Department of Education actually doing? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. It's so we're raising really dumb kids, not their fault. Our education system absolutely sucks. 100%. Then you know you have these super duper retards called BuzzFeed. It will now be at the states. There would be likely drastic difference of quality of education between the states. Probably. Look at this guy. Dismantling the DOE means my child will no longer be able to have a nurse with her in school. The nurse likely keeps her alive. The funding won't be there. I guess my child doesn't deserve a public education, even though she's super smart. Why does she need a nurse? And if she is like special needs, Trump's already said that is not going to stop. And the bad thing is he said that before BuzzFeed put this out. So they're just forcing, this is what I was saying in the video with Carl. They're forcing us to, or they're forcing the idiots who don't really have what it takes to really look into stuff or just don't care to really dive into what is actually going on. They're forcing them to stay stupid and believe the rhetoric. I mean, honestly, if you're somebody that gets their news from BuzzFeed unironically, then you're just I don't know what to say about that. That's just, you're stupid. It's very odd. It's very odd how pretty much every single year of my life growing up, all I've heard over and over from everyone is how much the Department of Education is, and how much the Department of Education and pretty much every single policy of the system they have put into place has been bad from both teachers and students alike. Yet suddenly, because it's a politician, people don't like who did it, and the people are throwing a fit. She's not wrong. It is 100% politicized. 100%. Donald Trump said it. It was like in that meeting to Congress or whatever the crap it was a few weeks ago, last month or whatever it was, that he could find the cure for cancer, and the left will still call him the devil. I mean, there's nothing he could do, and that's very dangerous. It's cult-like syndrome. And that's what this fluffy soft fox was saying, that everybody was saying that the DOE was ridiculous and just money funneling and not doing anything, not advancing our education. If anything, our kids are getting dumb. And since it's a certain political party getting rid of it, everybody is against it. And then this is what this idiot says: because the solution is reform, not destruction. If Republicans wanted to change how the DOE operates, they have the power now. They could put their plan in motion and reform the organization. Destroying it doesn't fix any problems, it just creates new ones. One, destroying it saves us a lot of money on administrators that are getting paid a ridiculous amount for no reason when our teachers are getting paid peanuts. Two, the stuff that the federal government is paying for, like colleges, the Pell Grants, anything to do with special needs, is still going to be there. What it's getting rid of is the bureaucrats, the top 1% of the top 1% that play God without permission. Where does that come from? Name that show. It is the absolute best show ever made, and everybody needs to watch it. We'll talk about that in a different episode, though.
I don't think they will. I think the only thing they're going to do at 18 is vote.
And that's scary. So Asmon's right. The only thing they're going to do when they turn 18 is vote. They're going to be really, really dumb and not know anything. And when they turn 18, they're going to vote for their whatever party is pushing the free stuff, which is typically Democrats. But they're not going to be able to think for themselves because they're not going to know anything because they're so stupid. And like I said, I think a lot of it is the parents. If you have parents just sitting your kids down in front of an iPad all day and not teaching them anything, not giving them any kind of life lessons, not doing shit with or for them, and just sending them off to school and not even caring about what they're learning or asking them or quizzing them, then how can you be mad when your kid is dumb? Because you're dumb. I make no apologies for stupid parents.
By the way, I wasn't kidding. I actually think that they should have a test for you to understand basic finance to take on any type of debt.
True.
You should have to pass a test.
I also think, and this is just me personally, I think you and it's wrong. don't get me wrong, like it's probably, I'm probably wrong on this, but I think that you should have some kind of form of standard IQ to have children. I think if you're, and the reason I say that is because there's a lot of people who are stupid having kids and suckling at the taxpayers' teat and suckling them dry, beyond dry, and they just keep having more kids. And then those kids don't learn how to advance. They grow up and they squeeze some more out of that teat. And then the cycle continues, and then we get a whole generation of idiots. We get a whole generation of TikTokers.
Percent. 40% of fourth graders lack even basic reading skills. Can't read.
Wait, what?
No, he's not
40%
wrong.
of fourth graders lack even.
Fourth grade. That's 9 to 10 years old.
Yeah, we just went over that. That was in that math one that I was talking about. How we're like bottom of the first world countries, like at the bottom, and they're saying, "Oh, we're fine, we're above average." Well, average is like the bottom of the first world countries. Everybody else is above us. Our kids can't read, and I know that's like almost a little bit hypocritical of me because, as you guys have seen in my videos, when I'm reading out loud, I stumble a little bit. It's because that I'm not comfortable reading out loud. I read more better in my head. More better. That's how you say that.
It immediately. No, I believe it.
Baltimore, 40% of the high schools have zero students who can do basic mathematics.
You shouldn't. No. See, you guys act like guys. You don't understand how bad it is.
Not even the very simplest of maths who can do basic mathematics. In Baltimore, 40% of the high schools have zero students who can do basic mathematics.
Baltimore High School, with 13 schools having no student score proficient on the state math exam. Even at the top 5 schools, only 11.4% of students tested proficient. But we need the Department of Education, or everybody's going to get dumb. Everybody already is dumb. I mean, how? How do you justify that? Like, at all? Look at that face. That's a beautiful face.
They said no child left behind. How about no child left ahead?
No child left ahead. We went from no child left behind to fuck those kids.
Numbers together. Despite these breathtaking failures, the department's discretionary budget is
because you have a fucking the amount of money that they get paid is criminal. They have to pay for their own supplies. They're on the job 24 fucking 7.
To be fair, they're not the only ones that have to pay for their own supplies. Like I said in the one video, I are a mechanic. I had to pay for all my tools. They're not the only ones. But to be fair, again, a trade school mechanic gets paid almost twice as much as a teacher, at least in Oklahoma. So, there's one against higher education, one for trade, I guess, which is so stupid. Teachers should be regarded as like top tier professions because that's a profession that's leading the next generation. Instead, it's a bunch of just, well, Asmus says it right.
They have to have apps to keep up with the parents of these stupid kids. So, like, why doesn't my kid know how to do multiplication and they're 15? Oh, I don't know, Bill. Maybe because your kid's a fucking retard. Maybe it's not my fault that at 15 years old, he can't multiply 4 times 4. Okay, maybe I didn't do this. Maybe you should have thought about this a little bit more. And so anyway, you've got the teachers. And so, like, why would you go and be a teacher if you have a degree in chemistry or you're in any way, shape, or form educated in this? So the
He's not
only
wrong.
people that you have for teachers are you have 2 groups, and they're the most diametrically opposed groups. You have losers that couldn't get any better job, and you have winners that want to be teachers and they love being a teacher and they are in it for the love of the game.
And those are the ones that we need. Those are the ones that we need, and we need to kick the other ones out because they suck.
And those are your legends. And those people need to be paid twice as much fucking money. And then you need to get the other half of people out of the fucking job by offering twice as much money. So 100%. You have the people that are more qualified.
Merit-based hiring is what Asman is saying.
They can beat them out in the job listings, and then you can have better teachers. That's the way you solve it. That's what I think the problem is. So you've got a bunch of fucking you've got shitty teachers, you've got stupid teachers teaching stupid kids, they hate their fucking job, and I don't blame them, they're right. You have mountains of bureaucracy, you have all of these different...
And the mountains of bureaucracy is the DOE.
Ways that parents blame everything on the kid nowadays, and the teacher's supposed to be held accountable. Like, if your kid doesn't know math, and every problem is not the teacher's fault, okay? There's some stupid kids. That's the reason why.
That's true, and that's the parent.
That's it. And so
that is the parent's fault, 100%.
Where is it going? I don't know.
With them, and we can all tell you who the laggards will be right now, probably, but let's not get into that. But we'll work with them, and we're going to make them, they'll do a job. I think they'll do a job, and they'll go to sections of the state. For instance, New York, you'll have a Manhattan, and you'll have a Suffolk County, and you'll have a Nassau County, and you'll have Westchester County. You'll do 4 or 5 or 6 of them. You have upstate New York, and those counties, I think, are going to do very well. And I think ultimately Manhattan should do very well. But we'll break it down into sections, and I think it'll be really, really good. And they're going to be probably the tougher ones, but I think they have a chance to do really well. But
yeah, I think so. Somebody says it's not fair to compare the success of small countries with an overwhelming majority of one demographic.
That makes no sense. And Asman says it right here anyway, but I'm going to skip that. What Asman says, let's just watch.
Even if somebody is black or Hispanic, they can learn basic math.
This is what the Democrats say when they're saying math is racist and all this crap. There was that one clip of that, Jesus, who was it? Like I said, I'm horrible with names, but there was that one clip of that lady that said that kids in the Bronx don't even know what a computer is. Just because you're a different race than white doesn't mean that you're doomed to be retarded. Anybody can learn. Everybody can learn. Our education system has failed, and parents have failed. And Trump's right. Putting this back on the states is going to be very, very good because now the states can regulate better on making sure that teachers are doing what they're supposed to do. Hopefully they're going to get pay raises because we're not going to be paying billions of dollars to all these administrators that have nothing to do with education. They're all just bureaucrats and the DOE. And then we're going to also keep all the essentials alive through different agencies of the government. For instance, all the food and all that stuff is going to be uh, in the health department. So RFK Jr. will be handling that, making sure our school lunches is actually something that's healthier for the kids and actually tastes better. My kids taste like crap, and it tastes like crap when I was in school. But hopefully, it'll be a little bit healthier. Maybe it'll be a little bit better. And all these functions, like the special needs functions and all this stuff, is still going to get handled. Nothing's going to stop other than the bureaucracy and the red tape and the administrators that get paid way too much, not doing crap. They're going to get hired. I can guarantee all of our stuff's going to go up if we get the teachers paid for what they're worth, so that way they actually give a crap about their job. We get teachers in there that actually have more than one brain cell and that can actually function and do their job and want to do the job. And then it also it goes on the backs of the parents to raise their kids, ask their kids questions, be involved in their learning life, especially K through 12, and make sure that they are being taught basic things. Make sure they can read. Make sure they can read, write, and arithmetic. And then I think that they really need to put some basic life courses in high school, so that way these kids coming out of high school, they have an idea of the real world. They're not coming out with nonsense that they are just going to forget about, but they're also not coming out with being clueless on how does a loan work? How does a credit card work? How does banks work? How do I balance my checkbook? All these life essential stuff is way more important than a lot of the stuff that they're teaching in school. Not to say that there's not really anything not important in high school. If I think back to high school, I would say that a lot of it is. I mean, we had in high school, I had, everybody has the electives that you can elect to take. So there's all different kinds of courses. I took a business law class. I took a study hall class, which was a throwaway class. It was a class to just hang out and do nothing in. I think that instead of having like 5 or 4 electives, cut it down to 2, and then make the other 2 mandatory, like life classes. That, like I said, the finances, the how to do a resume, and how to actually interview for a job, and how to negotiate a pay and stuff like that. That stuff is going to be essential in high school for kids coming out to get into the real world. So I think that all that is really
What
good.
are you talking about?
Care of our teachers, and I don't care if they're in the union or not in the union, that doesn't matter. But we're going to take care of our teachers, and I believe the states will take actually better care of them than they are taken care of right now. They'll work all sorts of systems and even merit systems. Those great teachers are going to be maybe a little bit better.
Yeah, that's basically the end of Trump's speech, and then Asman's kind of reaction there. Like I said, Asmongold is freaking hilarious, and he's right. He's not wrong. These kids, we have adults financing DoorDash because they're retarded, and we have these kids that are really retarded because the parents are retarded. And we had that even adults are super dumb because they can't even. I mean, 28% of adults below literacy and 34% below numeracy, compared to 19 and 29 respectively in 2017. Even 19 and 29 is freaking scary low. Super dumb. I also wanted to kind of throw this into here because I think that this is important as well. Title I funding for hard pressed districts, all that will continue. This is what I was saying earlier. All this is going to continue. The stuff that is necessary is going to continue. That's not what he's cutting out. Even though CNN, BuzzFeed, all these other stupid places will say that, oh, he's going to get rid of all this stuff. And then all these people on Facebook and Twitter and stuff like that that only look at BuzzFeed or CNN or MSNBC. They're all saying, "Oh no, now what are we going to do? Everybody's going to get dumb because getting rid of the Department of Education means that schools are going to shut down and we're not going to be able to do anything." That's not true. Listen to what the man said, and we'll see what he actually does. That's one thing about the whole trusting the government thing. I don't trust it unless it actually happens. So far he's done this stuff already and he's kind of pushing towards this. So we'll see what happens. I'm actually optimistic about a little bit of it. But yeah, he's not getting rid of stuff that's actually matters. But I wanted to bring this up as well in this video because I think that this is very important because I am in the trades, but I also have a business degree. So I went to business. I graduated college with academic honors in my business degree. And I want to make this very clear. I didn't go to advance in my career as far as that goes. I went for it for a personal reasons. I wanted the degree. I just wanted it. But also, I went during the height of COVID. I did online. But I went during the height of COVID. And I will tell you this 100%. And I was 30 whenever I got my degree. So I've been in the trade already since 2010, whenever I was 20. So I'd already been in the trades for about 10 years when I got my degree. And there was maybe a less than a tiddlywink of information that I actually learned throughout actual college. Everything else was common sense almost. It really was. It was very common sense to me anyway. And if it was to me, I'm sure it was to a lot of people. Not to say that 18-year-old Redbeard would have been anything spectacular in college, because I really did not care back then. That was one thing. Like, I waited until I actually cared and then I did it. But I will say 100%. So with college, and this is a big debate, is around campuses, and you see it on Charlie Kirk and Liberty Hangout and stuff like that, where the whole premise is college is a scam because you're not really getting an education, you get an indoctrination. I can say that is true as far as my experience and my degree goes. So my business degree, you would think that with a business degree, you would be learning some hard business law and hard business things, and potentially like some entrepreneurship substance in there. What I learned, again, was not much. It was a lot of common sense. But a lot of stuff in every single class, every single core class of that degree, what I learned, the main thing that they were pushing, and this was in the 2020 to 2022 range, was they were really teaching and pushing DEI. I am not kidding. I don't have proof, so you just have to take it at my word. But during the tests on some of these classes, I would have questions that were like this. If you had, and it was a lot of like the HR management classes that you take with a business degree course. If you have two individuals, and one is white, male, and he has qualifications that exceed the minimum for the position, and then you have a minority or female that qualifications do not quite meet the minimum, which one do you hire? The answer is the minority every single time. They were already pushing, look at the race and gender of the individual over the merit of the individual as ethics, as law practice and business law, as HRM, human resource management. They were already telling you to do this in those classes in 2020, 2020, 2022, in that range. So 30-year-old me was saying that doesn't work. That's not right. And that's not real world. That doesn't, that it happens in the real world, unfortunately, but it shouldn't, because you should be looking at merit, the character, not the color or the gender. And 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds going through this fresh out of high school, where they're already getting a crap education, and then they're being force fed this crap. It's what they're impressionable, and that's what they're going to believe is true, which is why you see more people on the liberal side of the aisle who have just degrees in general, because this is what they're being taught. They're being taught liberal ideology instead of real world just education. And that is terrifying. It really is. And it was an eye opener for me too, because I had heard about it. And then once I went through it and actually experienced it, it was like, holy crap, this is real. Like this actually is taught in college. And it's sick. It really is, because we're bringing up a whole generation of not only just not even at the bar of literacy and different categories, but we're also bringing up judge people by their race and gender versus their character or merit, which is really, really stupid. And it's going to make businesses really, really stupid. You can see it with your own eyes. Yeah. That said, I wanted to bring this up because, like I said, there's a lot of things that I don't think college is a scam 100%. But I do think that I think that college should only be for STEM and business. That's it. Every other degree is worthless. Not to say that you shouldn't learn whatever you want to learn. Every other degree is worthless at a college level. Everything else could be either learn it on your own or trade. Seriously. You have people, and I'll use Charlie Kirk as an example, because he's the most he's probably the most widely known person like this. But you have him who did not go to college, who is a better debater and a better public speaker, a better almost historian than 90% of these people that are coming out of college with these degrees in those specific things, because he just learned it on his own. He just read books. He watched YouTube. He did things himself and learned that crap. But I think that higher education really should just focus on STEM, because those are the people that you actually do need that degree to do those things. I think they can cut out a bunch of filler and have it, instead of like a 4-year to a bachelor's in STEM, you could easily make it a 2-year to bachelor's in a STEM. You don't need a bunch of the filler crap that you're paying for no reason for, like liberal arts and stuff like that. If you're going into STEM, you should learn what your craft is. And that's where I say that trade is a better option in a sense. I don't like I was saying with the healthcare thing. I don't know the answer 100%. This is just my experience because I have both. I have trade, I've done trade, and I have a degree. And I think a mixture is what we need more than a yes, this or that. STEM is 100% needed for higher education. That's all your doctors, medical or not. That's all your engineers. That's all your computer sciences, your sciences, and I think business is also kind of down there as well. Um, as long as you cut the filler out. So 2 years of bachelor's, 4 year, and then on and on and on. But as far as all the social stuff and the humanities and all that crap, I don't think that should be really a primary thing in college. I don't, because that is where it turns into a scam because you're paying a bunch of money for something you're never going to use and you're never going to get your money out. That is the definition of being scammed. So I wanted to bring this up. What percent of college students use their degree? 52%. A significant portion of college graduates, approximately 52%, are underemployed in jobs that don't necessarily require a degree within the first or the first year after graduation. This is according to the Strata Institute for Future Work and the Burning Glass Institute. So 52% of college graduates get out of college with their degree. And the unfortunate thing is that the generation right now is very, very entitled. They think that they should be getting like 100K at a base minimum, no matter what the degree is they have, which is nonsense. I don't know who is pitching that, but they need to stop because that's not true at all. It's never been true. But 52% of kids are coming out of college, adults are coming out of college, and then they're getting a job that the job's like, you didn't really need that. So you went on all this debt for no reason. Or you're wasting taxpayer money if you're on like Pell Grants and stuff like that for no reason. You wasted time for no reason. So that's very big. That's very big. What percent of college students drop out? 32.9% of college students drop out each year, with about 23.3 of first-time full-time undergrad freshmen dropping out within the first 12 months. So these kids are being brought up that you have to go to college to make any amount of money, which is nonsense. I'm living proof of that. And then they're like, this isn't for me. I'm not learning anything. And I'm going into debt for no reason, so I'm dropping out. Because I'm taking classes I don't want to take. I'm paying for classes I don't want to pay for. And I'm going into a career field that is not going to make money. So they drop out. Average debt of college versus trade school. So trade school typically averaging 30 or about 10 grand. So 10 grand for a trade school, while college graduates often carry over 30,000 in debt. And I think that's a little bit skewed. I believe it's way more than 30,000 in debt. The average student loan debt for college grad can range from 30 to 40,000 or more. Very important to see right there, or more. Trade school is about 10 grand. And so if you're doing that much money in debt, let's see what the pay is going to be. Because in 21 to 22, the most popular fields of study in bachelor's degrees were business, health professions, and social sciences, with business being the most common. Approximately 90% of bachelor's degrees conferred were business. Health professions and related programs with 13%, social sciences and history 7%, other popular fields of biological and biomedical science, psychology, engineering, also made up top 6 most popular fields. STEM fields, overall 21% were in STEM fields. So, business, health professions, social sciences. Business degree average salary. As of March, the average salary for an individual with a business degree in the United States is about 85,000, which equals roughly about 40,000 or 40 an hour. The median wage for people with a business degree is about 71, slightly higher than the median wage for a business degree across all fields, which is 66. So the average for all fields is 66, and for business, it's a little bit higher at 71. Now, it depends on where you live. I can tell you for a fact in Oklahoma and most of the Midwest, your business degree is probably going to be in about the 50,000 range, not 80, unless you're super lucky. But regardless, you're still going to have about $40,000 to $50,000 in debt. And so you're going to be making 80, but you're going to have about $50,000 in debt. So keep that in mind. Social science, which is another very popular one of the most popular, approximately $50,000 you're looking for your base pay. Another $40,000 in debt, only making $50,000. Doesn't sound like it's worth it, does it? 21% of all bachelor's degrees awarded in the US were STEM fields. Only 21% out of 100. So that's very low. So it's a very small percent of people actually doing STEM. So anybody that's like, oh, well, STEM. That doesn't matter, because that's already one that I think that actually it has to stay in higher education. I just think that a lot of the filler needs to be taken out. So let's look at trades. Welding average salary is about 48, so about $23 an hour. It's a little bit more in the Midwest. This is where it's backwards from like the degree fields. The trades are a little bit more in the Midwest than it is on like the Outlanders for whatever reason. Because I can tell you in Oklahoma, it's about $35 to $40 an hour for welders. But regardless, you compare that to the social sciences, which is 50,000, you're making about the same. Yet the social sciences will have $40-ish thousand in debt, where the welder will have about $10,000 in debt. Big difference in the future. And people saying that without a degree you can not become management is lying to you 100%. In the trades, most of your management in trades, in the trade industry, start from the trade job itself. It is almost rare, because I've been in management and I've been in this industry long enough that I can say 100% it's almost rare that you see a manager, a shift, a service manager or anything like that actually has a degree or required a degree. They require knowledge of the trade. And also all your entrepreneurs with their businesses in trades, like all your shops, your mom and pop, plumbers and welders and stuff like that, 99% of them do not have a business degree. They have experience in the trade. So huge misunderstanding on that one. A plumber average salary is $63,000. Again, you look at the business, the social sciences and stuff like that. The businesses, I think, is skewed. And here, unless it's like California and stuff like that, make just a dramatic amount. But I can tell you in the Midwest, it is nowhere near the 80,000 is showing here. It's more in the 50,000 range. But the trade this is about where the trade is as far as the Midwest. And this is what I can speak to, because this is where I live. Average plumbing, 63,000, $10,000. Get your certs, go make $30 an hour right out the gate. 5 years of doing that, the dudes are just now finishing college. You're already 5 years into your career. You can start your own business easily, or you become a master and you're now making $50 an hour. See how that works? You can't just look at right then. You have to look at 5-10 years down the road as well. Diesel mechanic, this is my field. This is super low in the Midwest. Guaranteed. It's more around this mark right here in the Midwest. Starting out, it's around this mark. Yeah, Okay. So, yeah, it's about that mark starting out. 10 years down the road, you're here. If you're on the floor, you're there. If you are good, you're doing the job, you're here with no issues 5, 10 years down the road. Only 10%, only 10,000 to do the school. And the thing is that mechanics is, I believe, like I said, I can attest to this because it's the field I'm in. Mechanics, I believe, is the only trade that does not even require you going to tech school. A lot of shops rather you come to them fresh and then go to tech school later to just kind of sand off some rough edges. But you do not actually have to go to tech school to get into the diesel world at all. A lot of shops prefer that you don't because you won't have bad habits coming in. Tech schools are really good about fundamentals and about theory, but as far as the actual job itself, you learn all of it OJT. And despite what any tech school will tell you, no tech school gets you ASE certified. You do that on your own, and you have to be in industry for at least 2 years or 1 year with tech school. So take that for what it's worth. But yes, starting out, you're about that mark. 5, 10 years down the road, if you're doing the job and you're doing it good, you're here. No problem. I can attest to this. Midwest, been doing this for 15 years. Trust me when I say that's the number. 10 years down the road, 15 years down the road. Starting out, yeah. And that's a pretty damn good number in the Midwest. 10 grand in debt or not, or just OJT. So no debt. HVAC, this is one that you have to go to tech school for. This is pretty accurate, about the same as the mechanics. So more than the social, less than the business, maybe, unless you're in the Midwest. Like I said, I think those numbers are skewed on the business one. But $40,000 in debt, a lot of filler stuff that you don't need to learn, or you go to tech school and you learn only what you're needing to learn. $10,000 in debt, boom. And a lot of schools, like the one I went to, Oklahoma Technical College, will give you a complete starter kit of the tools included in the program. So there's that too. Electrician, again, it's about the same. 60 for the average. So entry level is about 50. And then once you get to your journeyman and stuff like that, you easily reach that. I have no doubt about that. I'm not sure like how accurate these numbers are in the other trades, but I can say that it's pretty accurate. I have no doubt that that's pretty accurate. Yeah, no, that was at Baltimore. Yeah, everybody was retarded there. But yeah, the DOE is good to get dismantled and then dispersed. I have no doubt that we're not going to be even more dumb. We are already very dumb. Our colleges are teaching really dumb. Our high schools are very dumb. We have teachers that don't give a crap, so they're teaching very dumb. With the Department of Education being dismantled and dispersed back to the states, and then other agencies taking things that are critical, I think that the teachers will get more money, and then with the more money, they're going to care about their job because they're going to be put on a standard of merit-based reporting. And then we're going to see these kids actually give a crap. And it also, like I said, comes down to the parents too, because if these parents don't care, then the kids aren't going to care. And then we're going to have this whole cycle continue. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of go through that. I saw Asmon's reaction to it a couple days ago, and I thought he is right on the money with all of it. And I would Asmon for DOE head, honestly. He could take over Texas head of DOE in Texas because he'll just tell them like it is. Hey, you're retarded. Get out of here. Let's get another teacher in here that actually cares. So leave me some comments what you think. we'll go from there.